We're thrilled to welcome back here in the flesh once again the comedian whose Netflix comedy special, Mouth of Shame, named after his Mouth of Shame tour from last year, will be available for streaming next Tuesday on March 14th. You also enjoy his work on the Opie with Jim Norton show on Sirius XM. He's a big MMA guy. Welcome back, Jim Norton.
Thank you. No, it's Mouthful of Shame, and me and Opie stopped working together about 6 months ago. I'm with this guy named Sam Roberts now. It's Jim Norton and Sam Roberts. Ooh, someone's getting canned. I just got someone fired. Yeah.
El Zorro.
Wow,
Yeah,
it was nice working with you, Eric.
Watch, dude, come on now. I was just about to get out of a mood. I've been in a mood all day, Jim. You ever wake up where you had a good night's sleep, life is good, things are going well, but you're in a mood.
Yeah, it happens to me. It's usually a night after a good night's sleep.
Should we show Jim the tweet that got you in the mood? Maybe. There's a hack.
Well, I mean, here's an interesting thing.
Jay Cutler too.
Well, because we'll get into the sports in a second.
Yeah.
We just showed a clip of you from your Netflix special about how you want to mess with your friends.
Sure.
Okay. You told a story about how you were messing with a friend at a urinal.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you want to unpack that story in the most safe for work way that you possibly can for the radio audience that's now just.
Well, I pretty much I really didn't do anything, and it's a very close to a true story. Where I just went and I saw my friend at the urinal. I walked up behind him and I just went, hey, onto the back of his neck, and it wasn't him. He had a black jacket on. I thought it was my friend.
And you thought it was your friend.
Yeah, but the guy recognized me as a comedian. So
okay, that's good.
That was the only thing that saved me from getting my teeth knocked out.
Well, the thing is, though, is you got to be careful with that, because if you scare somebody at the urinal and they turn around and they're still doing their business, some of that gets on you, right?
Absolutely, especially if you're tying your shoes and you're at the wrong level. Yeah, it's bad news.
It's bad news. Yeah. But still, even with that danger zone, you're willing to do that because you want to mess with your friend.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So Jimmy Garoppolo of the New England Patriots, rumored to be on the trading block, even though the Patriots don't want to trade him. An Instagram photograph hits his account at like 3 a.m. of him saying farewell to Boston fans, okay? Saying farewell. We're putting it up on the television screen for you to see right over there, Jim, the radio audience. There it is. So grateful for my time in New England. Peace out, Boston. He says he was hacked. All right. So Sports Illustrated decides to go over the top 5 hacks of sports figures that they can name. The first one that they had was one of mine from 2010. Want to put that up on the screen for Jim? You want to read it out, because I refuse to read it out.
At about 1 o'clock in the morning, it came out from Rich Eisen's account. I am so horny.
Okay. Now, the genesis of this is I was at the poker table with my friends, in quotes. I got up, went to the bathroom. One of them grabbed my phone and did that. Is that within the boundaries of what you're talking about?
100%. Yeah, it's perfectly acceptable. I left my phone one time on the table. I was at the Montreal Comedy Festival, and Chelsea Peretti and Amy Schumer I was sitting with.
Yeah.
And when I came back, I had all these tweets that had been sent out from my phone saying, I'm lonely. I just need to be held. I'm feeling really sad. It was humiliating.
So that happened to you, but does the NFL commissioner Roger Goodell follow your Twitter account, best you can tell, Jim?
No, and I keep pestering him to do that, but he changes his number every time I call. I'm like, follow me, Roger. Yeah, that's a little embarrassing in your position. In my position, just sending out I am horny is perfectly acceptable. People are like, wow, Norton's mellowing out.
But, okay, so doing that to me, though, it's still acceptable amongst friends to do that?
Yeah, if it's your friends that do it, and especially since they could have, if they had access to your phone.
It could have been worse.
Oh, they could have sent a picture out that they just took, yeah.
By the way, that's the excuse I keep even to this day getting from my friends, saying it could have been worse.
Oh, yeah. We used to do this thing, my friend Jim Florentine would do it, where if the cameras at the wedding, you take those cameras when they leave them on the table, and you walk into the men's room and you use all the film up and then you put them back on there, and we've done that. And so you're lucky your friend didn't do that. Snap a great photo and go, I really need one of these, and it's got a pair of shoes in the bottom.
So,
yeah.
So isn't the joke, though, on, if we're just going to keep extrapolating this out, isn't that joke on somebody who works at whatever pharmacy is developing that, or they do that and then just stick it into the pictures that you get back?
Well,
right?
it could be on the person, but it's also on it's got to be on the person, because the guy who brings the camera back, even though the pharmacist has to see it, he has to go, wow, look at the pictures this guy took and is comfortable. Because you're going up feeling, the best day of my life. You're happy, and it's just all these naked men in the men's room. So, yeah, the joke is definitely on you.
Jim Norton here on The Rich Eisen Show. You got to check out Mouthful of Shame on Netflix when it starts streaming next Tuesday, March 14th. Okay, what do you make of the McGregor-Mayweather dance that appears to be going on right now? What do you make of this, Jim?
I have mixed feelings. You know, I'm not a big Conor fan, even though I know he's a great fighter.
Why not?
I don't know him. It's hard with MMA for me to root for anybody because I interview most of those guys.
Yes.
And once I don't talk to somebody, whoever they're fighting, if I like them, I root against the person I haven't talked to. It really is that simple. It's like you wind up liking them all personally. So it's like, how do you pick who do you want to win?
Okay.
I'm not,
if you interviewed Conor McGregor, your opinion of him might change?
Oh, yeah. I met him once. He was lovely, but I just didn't get a chance to talk to him like at length.
Okay.
The time I met him, he was great. McGregor and Mayweather, though, look, I mean, Mayweather is, I don't like Floyd Mayweather. I find him irritating. But he's one of the greatest defensive fighters of all time. It's like, how is McGregor going to match up? Because McGregor's used to having a bunch of weapons. He's used to being able to do takedowns. He's used to using his knees. He's used to using kicks. And just the fact that you are not going to be able to use those weapons, I think that Mayweather would win that fight.
Yeah, I mean, everyone believes that. But and the other way around, if that was available to both McGregor and Mayweather, McGregor would win that fight. Right?
In a full MMA fight?
Yeah.
It would literally go less than 2 minutes. They did it at one time. Randy Couture fought James Toney. And Randy was actually older than Tony. And I think in the first round, he took him down with a single leg and he destroyed him. It's not fair to a boxer. They're just not used to having to defend their legs.
So why are we talking about this?
Because Conor is amazing at promoting himself. Like, he's really great, and he does what he says he's going to do. Like, he does nothing but beat up people I like. Like, I constantly think, this is a bad fight. He fought Eddie Alvarez at New York. And, like, that's a bad fight for Conor. And I'm like, oh, yeah, Conor's probably going to get knocked out. Eddie's tough. He destroyed him in, I think, the second round. So every time you think Conor's going to lose, he wins. So
then what is the most compelling matchup you see coming down the pike in MMA, or what you want to see that does not involve Conor McGregor? Is there somebody out there?
Well, there's a great heavyweight fight coming up. There's Junior Dos Santos is fighting Stipe Miocic for the heavyweight championship in I think that's in Dallas. Yair Rodriguez against Frankie Edgar. There's some amazing fights coming up.
That's in UFC 211.
Cormier Rumble Johnson 2 in Buffalo is a great fight. Cormier won the first time they fought. So, yeah, there's a lot of great fights. I don't care as much about watching. If I want to see Conor fight Tony Ferguson or Khabib Nurmagomedov, that's what I want to see as an MMA fan. I don't care about
what happens. Do you think should that happen? What happens?
Again, every time I think there's no one worse than picking fights than me. I'm always wrong. But I would say that Khabib, if he can actually get healthy and make the weight cut, if he takes Conor down, Conor's finished. Tony Ferguson is great on the ground. But, Conor every time you think Conor's not going to do it, like, Eddie Alvarez is a great ground game, couldn't take him down. So I don't know. I have no prediction about it. I would obviously take Ferguson over Conor, and I'd probably be wrong.
What do you like going to these matches? I mean, when you're sitting there, chill? Are you chill, or you get into it? I
get into it. So I'm such a fanboy. Like, I do the podcast twice a week with Matt Serra, the former welterweight champion.
Yep.
And it's so much fun, but I can never be totally detached like an analyst. I'm a fanboy. And the idea of watching these two guys walk into this ring, or the women fighting are amazing and just as exciting as the men. And, Ronda, even though she's had, two really tough losses in a row to Holly Holm and then Amanda Nunes, the women's MMA is no joke. I mean, Joanna Jędrzejczyk is fighting. Jessica Andrade, I think, is the undercard for the Miocic fight. That's a great fight. It started a couple of years ago. Dana said there would never be women in UFC. And now it's like I look forward to some of those matches as much as the men.
Sometimes it's the biggest ticket.
Yeah, I mean, they're really great. Ronda was at one point the biggest name.
No doubt.
And then she lost and went away, and now it's Conor.
Lost, I do love watching him, and I do love
Conor,
seeing. Yeah,
he's fun.
I think he is fun. He's fun, and how he goes about his business, I think, is really fascinating. And I think certainly as the MMA and UFC gets bigger and bigger, I'm just wondering what his role is going to be. As this sport, and also obviously the UFC matures.
Well, he's the guy. I mean, again, since Ronda especially took that second brutal loss, there isn't really anybody on his level of the ability to draw or the ability to get headlines outside of mainstream, like in sports.
With a tweet.
Yeah.
With a Facebook post.
Yeah.
Within one picture. You know, even when there's a fan where he post a picture of the fan and cut the fan out. You know, just even that alone was something that people were talking about.
Dude, I was in.
He looked great. He thought he looked great, so he just cut the fan out of the photograph and put it up there.
I was in the garden. I took a picture next to Connor's car.
Did you really?
48 years old. I had the Notorious on the side of the, what is it, like a Rolls Royce? I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Now,
there's something about him, though. I'm really happy that he is in the UFC, and I hope he stays in the UFC.
Now, let's just bring this all full circle, Jim Norton. Okay, let's say you interview him, and because that is the metric that you use to like somebody and consider them maybe as a friend.
Sure.
Okay? And you do that with Conor McGregor. You walk into a men's room, and he's doing his business. Do you walk up behind him?
Even if I know it's him?
And even if you know it's him, you do the high thing.
100%. It's worth getting my jaw broken for the story. It's how'd you get your jaw broken? Sit down. I got a great story.
Fantastic.
Be well worth it.
Hey, come back, man. I love having you on the show.
I love doing it. Watch out for Francis Ngannou, a heavyweight. He's ranked number 6, my favorite new fighter. Watch out for him.
Fantastic. And we'll check out, again, your podcast twice a week, as you said. Mouthful of Shame as well. The Mouthful of Shame comedy special on Netflix starting on Tuesday, March 14th. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Rich.
You got it.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.